Hey, Twisters, and welcome, hockey fans. So, for today's stream, we're going to be predicting the upcoming NHL season. So, we'll go division by division. We'll rank the teams 1 through 8, and then we'll choose our wild cards. And in addition to that, we'll, of course, crown our Stanley Cup champion. Hope you guys are excited for this upcoming season. For me, it's been a very lengthy offseason as a Sharks fan. It seems like almost closer to a year that I've actually watched that team take the ice, but they'll be on the ice next week. And actually, speaking of that, we will be live on Tuesday for the Avalanche and Kings on opening night. And then we'll be live again on Saturday, the 11th, for the Sharks as they take on the Anaheim Ducks. So, welcome. If it's your first time here, I'm Nick, and I'm also joined by my co host, Cortana, and she'll be coming around every now and then for a treat. Come on, girl. Good girl. Samantha, hey, good to see you. Thanks for hopping in here. And yeah, we'll get to the predictions in just a few minutes. So yeah, let us know what you're looking forward to in the NHL season here. Of course, one thing that we'll be following closely is McDavid watch, if he's going to extend with Edmonton, and if he's going to test the market in free agency. And on top of that, just what his average annual salary would be. Because as we know, Kirill Kaprizov just leapfrogged everybody as the highest paid player in the NHL. Yeah, that's right, Samantha. I still live here in Idaho. This is home for me now, and it's a great place to call home. And just so that you guys know what we're looking at, Cortana, you got to be patient, kiddo. You got to pace yourself here. So to show you what I've got on my screen here. So here's how we're actually going to do this. I've mocked up some division rankings. And so we have this for each division. We got the Pacific here. We've got the Central Division. I got the Metro here as well. And we have the Atlantic. And on top of that, we have our Stanley Cup playoffs. So should be pretty fun predicting this stuff. Where are all my jerseys? Yeah, I have a totally new office right now, so I don't have the space to show all my jerseys, unfortunately. And I sold a bunch of them too. Who else is here? Feel free to say hello. Who your favorite team is? What your expectations are for your favorite team? And while you do that, gotta crack one open here. Happy October to you guys. Hey, sports geeks, good to see you. Of course, we can tell who your favorite team is. Year 2 of Matvei Michkov coming up. What jerseys do I still have? I mean, I still have a majority of them. I've sold only like 1 or 2 of my Sharks jerseys, so I still have a bunch of those. And I still have all my Islanders jerseys. I have like 4 of them, strangely, because I still have my Fisherman. Did Joseph Woll get shelled after the Leafs lost to the Panthers in Game 5, 6-1? Was he the goaltender for that? I can't even remember, honestly. I just know that he's going to be starting the season injured, right? But I like the Anthony Stolar signing a lot. He's been, I would say, probably one of the best 3 backup goaltenders over the past couple of seasons. What about the Seattle Kraken jersey? I do have that, yeah. But Micro, how has your offseason been? We've got Hockey from Home joining us as well. Thank you for popping in here. And I hope you're excited for next week because the NHL season will start up. I'm definitely fired up about that. And I am happy to be back on YouTube doing some live streams with you guys. Okay, so anyway, why don't we go ahead and get started if that's cool? Which division should we start with first? I had the Pacific Division pulled up here, but if you want me to start with a different division, just let me know in the comments or in the chat. Excuse me. Hockey from Home says Central. Anybody else? And speaking of which, we do have a poll right now because of the Kaprizov signing. Okay, that could be fair. Right on. Metro, get my pain over with quickly. Atlantic. Next person who chimes in could be the decider here. But I'm fine if you want to start with the Pacific. All right. You know what? We'll do the Central first, okay? That was where you had the President's Trophy winner this past season, the Winnipeg Jets. So, and by the way, in our poll here, looks like the Atlantic is the toughest division in the game this season. All right, so we're gonna start with the Atlantic, or excuse me, the Central Division. Which team finishes 8th in the Central? So these are your predictions. Your offseason was great. Went to Australia for 2 weeks. Oh, that's awesome. I'd like to go someday. I've been through a couple of the airports there, but hey, Toria, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in here. We're talking Central Division. So yeah, let me know, everybody. Which team finishes last in the Central Division? Let me know in the chat. Prescott, thank you for hopping in here. Hope you had a good off season. So so everybody, let me know in the chat, who do you think is going to finish in last place? If you need the teams, by the way, I've got the logos queued up right here. Blackhawks still. See, I don't know who is in the Central. Okay, well, if you look on my screen here, you got the Predators, Stars, Wild, Avalanche, Blackhawks, Jets, Blues with their new logo, and the Utah Mammoth. Mike, good evening, sir. Thanks for joining us here. So yeah, just let me know who you think is going to finish at the bottom of the division in the Central. Will the Preds make a turnaround after a terrible season? Yeah, I know. I feel so embarrassed thinking that they would actually be a solid playoff team. AJM says Nashville. Paul says Chicago. I have the Hawks, then Nashville. Okay. Hey, Mr. Vids, good to have you here. Ethan, I appreciate you joining us as well. All right, let's go ahead and put the Blackhawks in 7th. That's a good pick, everybody. And I'd probably agree with you. Although this could be maybe the last year that they have their struggles. So we'll put Chicago in 8th. Okay. Who finishes 7th in the Central? So basically, just let me know in the chat. Just give me your team for 7th place, just ahead of Chicago. Always good to see a new stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to be on here. And I've got a couple of game streams lined up for next week. We'll be live on Tuesday evening for opening night for Kings versus Avalanche. And then we'll be live on Saturday for the Sharks and Ducks. I want to watch the first game on Thursday against the Knights, but with Mrs. Twister probably. But yeah. Okay. So Prescott says it's going to be the Predators. Anybody else want to chime in? Cast your votes. All right, Hockey from Home. We'll catch you later. Predators, okay. Anybody else saying Nashville? Preds? Okay, we'll go with the Preds. Actually, I know that Micro who was mentioning Australia? When I went to Nashville several years ago, I actually went on a tour of the Jack Daniel distillery with well, there was somebody in my tour group. Well, it was just me and my girl at the time. And then this woman who flew all the way out from Australia because she loved country music so much. She wanted to hang out in Nashville, and she loved the Nashville Predators as well. And she went to like 6 games during her trip there. Dean, thank you for joining us, man. To sing Lincoln Park in August. Oh, cool. How was that? I was actually talking with Mrs. Twister about that because it's like, wow, what's that experience like when you have a different vocalist? All right. Who finishes 6th? Who do you guys have 6th? Who finishes 6th in the Central? And I think that really here, 6th, 5th, 4th, maybe 3rd, that's all kind of like, all those teams are kind of jumbled together, arguably. Banged Up Niners play tonight. Who do they got? Who are they playing tonight? San Francisco 49ers. The Rams. Oh, yeah, that will be quite a challenge then. Prescott says Utah. Sports Geeks says Dallas. Dean says the Rams. No, I'm just joking. Don't mind the new singer with her songs. She doesn't quite have the same feel as Chester. Yeah, and you know what? I think that she has to kind of accept. Like the fans have to kind of like accept that and appreciate what she can bring to the table. Even though it's not going to be identical. Hopefully, she kind of finds her way there. Paul says Minnesota. Ethan says Minnesota. I'd go with Utah. Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in here? If it comes down to a poll, I'm happy to do that too. Ethan, 25 months. Wow. Blues. Okay. All right. We're going to do a poll here because we're getting all kinds of votes. And I would expect that for how tightly contested this division should be. Who finishes 6th in the Central? Okay. So I'm going to add some options. I'm going to say Utah or Mammoth, Wild. I'll put the Blues in here, and I'll also put the. Should I put Dallas in here as well? Blues, Mammoth, Wild. We'll do those 3 teams. How about that? There we go. All right. So now this is going to come down to a poll. So let your voice be heard. Buddy Gabe plays tonight versus LA. Really? How about that? Now, have you actually gotten a chance to? Are you going to go see him, or you saw his first fight? That's cool. What sort of what development program did he come from? All right. We're going to close this poll in 10 seconds. So vote if you haven't already. But it looks like we're skewing one way here. And we will close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cubs win over the Padres. All right. So finishing 6th. I think did they finish 6th last year? The Mammoth. I think they did. Yeah, that looked good. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's go with the who finishes 5th. All right. So here we'll do the next poll. We'll do another poll for this one. So who finishes 5th in the Central? I'm gonna put this Wild, Blues, or someone else. We're gonna do it like that. I'll be watching him in St. John. Oh, with Moncton. Oh wow, so you live all the way over there, and you're a Vegas fan. Well, I hope that the time difference isn't too big of a factor for you, but That'd be challenging for me if I were rooting for a team that much further west. Which Halo was the best? I'm old school, man. Pistol and a shotgun, hang 'em high, blood gulch. Halo 1 for me. And if it ends in a tie, well, then I'll break the tie. It's a tie right now, but that could change. So yeah, guys, I'll give you like 15 or 20 seconds there. But I mean, Halo 2 was still awesome. Halo 3 was smooth. Reach, I always thought was kind of underrated. And ODST, the firefight on that was awesome too. That was one of my favorite multiplayer modes. All right, let's close out our poll then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so finishing 5th, we're gonna have ODST has the best music. By the way, shout out to Martin O'Donnell, one of the great composers in video games. Let's go with the Blues in 5th. Okay. We're gonna put the Wild in 4th. All right, guys. Now we got to get to the next poll. Who is going to finish 3rd in the division? So we've got the Avalanche. I think they finished in 3rd last year, right? Stars and the Jets. How can you see what jerseys are for sale? I don't think I have a link in. I don't think I have a link in my video description. So I haven't really been trying to sell my jerseys recently. So I mean, if I do later on, I'll let people know on this channel. But I'm not really trying to sell anything right now, unless somebody has a big offer for me. But yeah, do I think Minnesota has bright future with Kaprizov and us having Boldy, Eriksson Ek, and Faber on pretty good deals? I mean, the Kaprizov deal, they could afford to pay that, I think, in the short term. But that's a huge commitment. I wasn't a fan of that for that sort of term, but considering you're going to get his prime years for another 5 or 6 years potentially, as long as he stays healthy. I mean, he had a little trouble with injuries last year, but I think that Minnesota could be a sneaky team right now. But I still think that they need that top end scoring center. I've always liked Eriksson Ek quite a bit, but I think you need to see Wallstedt take a step forward. As good as Gustafsson is, you still have to have a very solid tandem. So they're still a little green in a couple of areas, but they could still stay very competitive in that division. It's just that, do they have the same ceiling as a team like Chicago could? I don't know about that, but Chicago, of course, isn't going to be competing for a playoff spot for the next year or two, I don't think. All right, so what does the poll? Okay, the poll is pretty close so far, but I want some more votes because I see, at least on my end, I see 17 people here, and I see 10 votes. So I want more votes. Cortana wants more votes too. That's true. Yeah, Dean makes a good point. And hell, Utah could be a playoff team this upcoming year. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any more votes, I'm gonna close out our poll here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So finishing 3rd is the Colorado Avalanche. So I think the only difference we have. Wait, is this division the same as it was last year? Or no, or did the Blues finish ahead of the Wild? Isn't that what happened? I don't know. Let's see here. All right, now we're gonna do 2nd. Which team finishes 2nd? Is it going to be the Jets or is it going to be the Stars? Actually, I think that you guys had Dallas winning it all last year. They got to conference final yet again, but now they have a new coach. Isn't it Glenn Gulletson? Isn't that their new head coach? Ethan, good evening to you. Hope you're ready for next week, man. I sure as hell am. Yeah, actually, I got to double check though. Last year, Minnesota finished 4th and St. Louis finished 5th. Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's close this out in 10 seconds. So cast a vote if you haven't already. Do more hockey stream and playoff streams. Hopefully, but next week I'm doing 2 games. And one of them is the Avalanche and the Kings. So that's on Tuesday. All right, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. With 69, nice, % of our votes. Actually, yeah, we have a change at the top. So Winnipeg will finish in 2nd. And coming in 1st is the Dallas Stars. You guys like Dallas quite a bit. Although I don't think we have a ton of Dallas fans. All right, so that's what our Central Division looks like. It's the same as last year, except for 1 and 2. They switch. All right, which division do you guys want to do next? Winnipeg 2nd. I mean, are they going to be any better this upcoming year? If you ain't first, you're last. I watched that like what, a couple weeks or a couple months ago. All right, Metro. We're gonna do the Metro. Riding on the Metro. All right, so here are our teams. So which team finishes last in the Metro? So if you need a refresh, here are the teams. We've got Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Carolina, New York Rangers, Islanders, and the New Jersey Devils, the Capitals, and did I forget anybody? Quebec Nordiques. That's a hot take. The NHL 94 podcast. Interesting. I used the theme song from the Genesis edition in several of my videos. Kind of cheering for the Jets with Jonathan Taves. That's fair. Flyers last, not Pittsburgh. Pens not last. Flyers. Columbus. It is a great song. Yes, indeed. Interesting. A couple people picking the Blue Jackets after nearly making the playoffs last year. Islanders in last. Okay. All right, we'll do the Islanders. Let's see here. Islanders, Flyers, Blue Jackets, or yeah, we'll do that. Pittsburgh. Okay. All right. Which team? So I'm gonna do a poll here. Which team finishes 8th in the Metro? So we're gonna have the Penguins, we're gonna have the Flyers, we're gonna have the Islanders, and I'll also include the Blue Jackets. All right. So everybody vote. Everybody smash that like if you haven't already. Actually, I'll give Cortana a treat. How about that? You smash the like, I give Cortana a treat. Psst, psst. Cortana. I don't know if you can see her. There we go, girl. Right here. Ah, good girl. Good girl. How do I do polls? Only I can make polls on here. Everybody vote. And they're off, and the Penguins are out in front. How old is Cortana? Good question. Oh, by the way, Ethan, gifting a membership. That's another. We'll give Cortana a treat for that as well. Here, Cortana, get a treat. Mike, Chad, don't do me like this. Mike with the two spot. Here you go. Here you go, and one from Mike. Here you go. Oh, good girl. Good girl. All right. So Samantha asked, how old is Cortana? Cortana, in January, she's going to be 12. Can you believe it? That's crazy. So thank you. Let's close out the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So with 53% of the votes, we've got the Pittsburgh Penguins coming in last. All right. Oh, wait, shoot. I didn't even type in the other team names. I got to make sure I do that. Pittsburgh Penguins. There we go. Perfect. All right. Let's see here. You bet enjoy. Can you see the jersey? Yeah, I mean, ta-da. It's the Blues Winter Classic. All right. We're going to go to Jackie. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. And now we're going to move on to 7th. Who's going to finish 7th in the Metro? We're going to put the Flyers in there. We're going to put the Islanders. And we'll also include someone else. Okay? So you got 3 options here. Oh, yeah. Here, sorry. Thank you, Samantha. There we go. Now we're talking. Yep. So there we go. While you do that, I'm just gonna update our team names here. So keep the votes coming. Chicago Blackhawks in their centennial season. We got the Nashville Predators behind them, followed by the Utah Mammoth. Then St. Louis. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like that. That looks better. We got the Minnesota Wild. We got the Colorado Avalanche, the Winnipeg Jets, and we've got the Dallas Stars. There we go. Oops. Bingo. Okay, let's close out the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So finishing 7th in the Metro Division, we're going to pick the Philadelphia Flyers. So both Pennsylvania teams at the bottom. All right, let's go to 6th. So the Islanders are going to be an option. Let's say who finishes, all caps, who finishes 6th? We'll put the Islanders in here. We'll have the Blue Jackets. We'll have someone else. So you have 3 options for this one. Shocked we didn't get in last if we finish 7th. That's a winning season no matter what. I'd say if the Flyers finish, if they finish 6th, that's a good year. If they finish higher than that, that's a miracle. Dallas, oh, never mind. Paul says Islanders in 6th. I don't see the Rangers making the playoffs again. They're super old and don't have a lot of depth. That is pretty true. I mean, Lafreniere had a good season last year, but I mean, now they don't even have Kakko. Who else did they lose? They lost, I know last year they lost Lindgren on defense. They lost Keandre Miller. They've lost Trouba. Who else am I leaving out there? Well, anyway, yeah, it's not particularly great. I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure, I think, on Igor Shesterkin. So far, everybody's voting for the Islanders. Do we have any dissent here? Anybody ever play that game Descent back on PC back in the day? Or Descent 2? The game was pretty legit. Okay, well, since the Islanders have all the votes, well, almost all the votes, I'm just going to close the poll and we'll put the Islanders in 6th. How about that? Oops. New York Islanders. Okay, what we're going to do is we're not even going to do a poll for this next one, or at least not to start out. So who finishes 5th in the Metro? So let me know in the chat. So give me your 5th place team. I mean, because going forward, then it becomes a little bit more difficult, I think, to guess who's going to be 5th. So Prescott says Columbus. Zach also picking the Blue Jackets. Paul says Rangers. So does Dean. New Jersey or Washington? Been a Cam Ward fan. I wonder what your favorite team is. It's got to be the Blackhawks, right? I mean, the Devils have been bitten by the injury bug the last couple of years. So is it realistic that they could finish at that point? Maybe. Maybe a little biased. But happy to have you here, man. Ben a Cam Ward fan. I thought I said Ben a Cam. Okay, so let's do a poll. How about that? Because I think we're getting more responses that way. Who finishes 5th in the Metro? I'm going to put the Rangers. I'm going to put the Blue Jackets. I'll put the Capitals, and I'll put the Devils as well, just in case anybody else wants to chime in like that. All right. Happy to be here. That's what we like to see. And I'm happy to have beer. All right. Did I get that right? Yeah. Okay. And don't forget, once we do all the divisions, we're going to name our wild cards, and we're going to actually predict the teams that we think will get to the conference final and the Stanley Cup final. We're going to need some more votes, though, everybody, because right now it's a tie. We need somebody to break the tie. I mean, it's neck and neck between the Rangers and the Blue Jackets. And I will give you another 15 seconds to vote if you haven't already. Cast your vote if you haven't already. We're going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2. Any last votes? And finishing 5th in the Metro Division, we have the New York Rangers. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they missed the playoffs, though, right? New York Rangers. There we go. Okay. Rangers in 5th. And I think that with that being said, we're going to put the Blue Jackets in 4th. So now who finishes? Corton's busy smoking some blunts. Freudian slip. Some grunts and blood gulch. Okay. So now we're going to do who finishes 3rd. Who finishes 3rd? So we're going to have the Capitals, the Devils, and the Hurricanes as your options. Capitals finished 3rd, says Dean. We'll see if you guys agree. The Capitals, don't forget, won the division this past year. Who did the Caps beat in the first round? I can't remember. I think, Montreal. That's right. Devils finished 3rd. The Devils did finish 3rd last year. Prescott says it's going to be the Capitals. All right, I'll give you guys 15 more seconds to vote if you haven't already, because it's looking like it's leaning one way, but we'll see. Dinner tonight? Well, I will figure that out once I have finished our live stream. All right, we're going to close it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so finishing 3rd in the division, we have the Washington Capitals. So they moved down a couple pegs from last year. Oh, look at that. All right, and then we're going to figure out who finishes in 2nd. Who finishes in 2nd Is it the Devils or is it the Hurricanes? Yeah, Cortana ate already. She starts hassling me at like 3:15 in the afternoon, so I feed her like at about 4:15, 4:30. Don't forget teammates. Oh, thank you. I'll do that right now. Yeah. Columbus Blue Jackets, Bluer Jackets. Oh shoot, wait. Let me get that one. I forgot. They're the longest team name in the NHL. And then we got the Washington Capitals. Excuse me. And you guys are leaning toward the Devils, but we could use some more votes. So vote if you haven't already. I will give you 15 more seconds to do that. Cast your vote. I would like that a lot. All right, let's close it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So finishing second, we've got the New Jersey Devils. And winning the division this year, we've got the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that I would your top three. I think that's a good top three. I might actually agree with you guys here. All right. All right. So which division should we do next? Which division? Should we do the Atlantic or the Pacific? How long did it take to create all these images? About maybe 2 hours. Zach says Pacific. Okay, let's do the Pacific. Perfect. Don't forget the names. Oh, thank you. Here, let's do that really quick. New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. Perfect. All right. Oh, wait, whoops. No, wait. What? There. Okay, that's good. All right, we're gonna do the first. All right. So, who finishes last in the Pacific? So let me know in the chat. Who is going to be at the bottom of this division? Zach says the Sharks. It didn't get Carolina. It didn't. Yeah, I got Carolina now. Sharks. Sorry, Nick. Hey, don't be sorry. Keaton Verhoff, you are a San Jose Shark. I'm saying it right now. Ethan says Kings. Interesting. A couple of people say the Kings. What? Because they got Cody Ceci? Dean says Kraken. Ducks or Sharks? Leaning more towards the Ducks, though. Okay. Well, I think that, first of all, thank you for chiming in. I think that we're going to probably see most people say the San Jose Sharks. So we'll put the Sharks at the bottom. I think that 7th and 6th are pretty interesting. And so I will throw up a poll. There we go, San Jose Sharks. So let's go with thank you, Samantha. Let's go with who finishes 7th. I'll make a poll for that. Who finishes 7th? So I'll put the Kraken, I'll put the Ducks, I'll put the Flames, and I'll put someone else, just in case. All right, so get those votes in. But yeah, I think the Sharks are going to finish at the bottom myself. The Sharks, they're kind of unproven defensively with a couple of young guys, and also they have a couple of veterans they brought in, but they're kind of on the backside of their career. Yep. So we got a tie right now between the Kraken and the Flames. So I need people to break the tie. Somebody break that tie. You can do it. Sharks would have been your 7th team. Oh, yeah, you had the Kings. That's right. All right, we're going to close the poll in 10 seconds, so vote if you haven't already. All right, we will close said poll in 5, 4, still have a chance, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so coming in 7th, we have the Seattle Kraken. Although 6th was a little too close to, I think that's a little too close to call, so we'll make another poll for that. All right, so Kraken go in here for 7th, and that gets us to 6th. So let's go with who finishes 6th. We're going to have the Flames, we're going to have the Ducks, and then I'll give you the option of someone else. Oh, team name. Thank you. Thank you. I think every time I forget, I have to drink. But that's team name. Yep. Now we're good. All right, I'll give you 15 more seconds. All right, we're going to close the poll, unless you vote, in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Finishing 6th, we have the Calgary Flames. So they will slide a little bit versus this past year, where they were only like 2 points out of a playoff spot. All right, so I got the team name. Here we go. Calgary Flames. Perfect. Look at that. All right. Oh, wait. Whoa, that was crazy. All right, let's go to 5th. And because nobody else has really, we haven't really gotten that much opinion about another team being in this spot, we'll put the Ducks in 5th. Although I'm tempted, I am very tempted for my season predictions to put the Ducks in a playoff spot. So we have the Anaheim Ducks. Okay. All right. So now we're down to 4 teams. We've got, I'll put the all 4 here. So which team, all the caps lock, which team finishes okie doke. Jelly Ramp. Hey, good to have you back here. So who is going to finish ahead of the Ducks and possibly in a playoff spot? Possibly. Everyone will choose the Canucks, but probably the Kings. Yep, keep voting, everybody. Keep voting. Más votas, por favor. The Oilers have more goalie depth with Ingram. Yeah, they do. I don't think you can expect Pickard to play like he did at stretches of last year. And Skinner, they're never going to win a Stanley Cup if he's starting in goal for them. All right. Well, we didn't really get a ton of votes, but that's okay because right now it looks like the Canucks. And so finishing in 4th and potentially in a playoff spot, we've got the Vancouver Canucks. Okay. And let's go to 3rd place. Who and I'll update the team name. Hold on though. Who finishes third? Okay. So we've got the Knights, we've got the Oilers, and we've got the Kings. And I'll definitely need your votes here because we're getting to the top here, so it could get pretty competitive. So besides Ingram, who else did the Oilers get in the offseason? Because I know they lost a bunch of veterans, but is it going to really impact their scoring depth all that much? I don't know. I don't know if it really will. Like Jeff Skinner, Corey Perry had a really good season for them. They also lost Arvidsson, but he just hasn't been the same player that he was in Nashville, right? Ingram will start in the AHL. So did he really fall off with Utah? Because for a while there, Connor Ingram, like 2 seasons ago, was on fire. All right, 15 more seconds to vote if you haven't already. All right, we're going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So finishing third, we've got the Kings. They finished second this past year. There we go. Looking pretty. He's been in player assistance. Oh, that does ring a bell now. Well, that's fair if they want to start the season like that. Oilers or Knights. So who's going to finish runner up? And we'll put the LA Kings on here. Los Angeles Kings. And for anybody who is intrigued at watching the Kings or following the Kings, we will be live on this channel on Tuesday when the Kings face the Avalanche. So we'll do the late night game here on this channel. Keep those votes coming, everybody. I want to say Knights underperform, but they'll find a way to top the division again somehow. Well, I look at it this way. Their off season, not a whole lot of like significant moves in total, but the acquisition of Marner, I think that outweighs the loss of Pietrangelo. And so with that being said, I don't think they're going to be, they might regress in terms of point total. They were wicked good this past year, but I wouldn't think that they would regress by much. Okay, let's close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So finishing in second, we've got the Edmonton Oilers, and repeating as champions of the Pacific, we have the Golden Knights. And I will update the team names. Oh yeah, let's get that right. Edmonton Oilers, and we've got the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay, wonderful. Nicely done. And now let's go to the final division before we get to our playoff teams, and that is the Atlantic Division. I mean, look at the poise on that face for Matthew Nyes. Okay, so my first question for you is, let me know in the chat. Type. Wait, typo negative. Type in the chat which team finishes 8th in the Atlantic. Really, who finishes 8th? I mean, this is probably the toughest division to pick, if not the Central. You know, the Bruins have a new coach with Marco Sturm. The Sabres have all the young talent there is. The Red Wings, they've got Todd McClellan now behind the bench, and they did pretty well with him. The Senators had a surprising season with Travis Green. But I need some shout outs in the chat. Who you guys think is going to finish 8th? We got the Bruins and Sabres. Anybody else think there will be a team that's going to finish down at the bottom like that? Okay, we'll do a poll. All right. So we'll do this. Who finishes 8th? The Bruins, the Sabres, or someone else? Okie doke. If I was really biased, I would say Florida, but I'm going with Toronto. To finish at the bottom of the division. I mean, Mitch Marner is a departure for Toronto. Yes, please. Get those votes in. All right, I'll give you 10 more seconds. Okay, we'll close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So finishing in last place, and now that would be 15 years of no playoff appearances. Jeez, man. At least the Bills are good, but and at least they probably won't have to worry about the Ravens in the playoffs the way they're playing. Good luck to the Bills, man. All right, so yeah, who finishes 7th? Let me know in the chat. So chat, type your team to finish in 7th, and then we can possibly do a poll if we need to. 14-0 49ers, man. You know, Dean, you're probably like, how did Nick pick them to finish last in the division? How did I? Bruins or Tampa? Interesting, Tampa, huh? How many years in a row have the Lightning made the playoffs? 20. It's been, I think, like 8 years in a row they've done it. Yeah, is it going to be the Bruins in 7th? All right. Well, if we don't have any other opinions on this, Tucson Roadrunners new uniforms. No, I didn't actually. There have been a lot of new jerseys released though across various leagues and including the NHL. Okay, so we got the Bruins and we got the Sabres. All right, now who finishes 6th? Once again, chat. Who finishes 6th? So type your responses because, I mean, is there an argument? There's almost an argument for every team here that they could finish 6th. Red Wings, okay, we could probably put them in there. I'm kind of high on the Red Wings going into this year, though. Any other opinions here, folks? Very small possibility Detroit, but most definitely Ottawa. Okay, so I will do this. Who finishes 6th? I'll make a poll. Who finishes 6th? We'll go with the Red Wings. We'll go with the Senators. We'll go with the Lightning, as that's been suggested. And we'll go with the Canadiens. How about that? Oh, wait, Chance, is that you? Chance! My boy Chance. Have you graced us with your presence, good sir? I said it right the first time. I do second guess myself quite a bit. Yeah, I want all the votes. I want everybody here. Please do cast a vote for this. This is very important. The Atlantic Division right here. Figuring this out. We need as many opinions on the matter as we can. Cortana, you're okay. Here, come get some apple. I've been watching the Red Sox games. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, good luck to them. I wouldn't mind if they beat the Yankees. And I wouldn't mind if somebody curb stomps the Dodgers. Look at that. The Senators and Red Wings are neck and neck. So we need somebody to break the tie. We need more votes. Honestly, this could decide who goes to the playoffs and who doesn't. Winner faces the Blue Jays. Yeah, but I won't. I can't close this poll unless we have somebody break the tie. Currently, winner take all, game 3. All right, man. Good luck to the Sox then. Boo Yankees for personal reasons. That's funny. Who should you hate less, Yankees or Red Sox? Yeah, I mean, is there really that big of a difference? But yeah, I would say that the Yankees are still kind of the classic team to hate in the American League. All right, we're going to close this out. If you haven't voted already, you've got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Finishing 6th in the Atlantic Division, the Detroit Red Wings. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I want to say the Wings they'll have something going this year. All right. Okay, next team or next poll here. So does that by default mean the Senators finish in 5th? Are we going to say the Senators finish in 5th? Were they 5th or 4th last year? I forget. They were I think 4th. All right. Oh wait, let me type in the team names here. Buffalo Sabres, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, Ottawa Senators. All right. Well, changes from the U.S. Four Nations team. Oh, shoot. I haven't even thought about that, honestly. You mean in terms of like the Winter Olympics? All right. We're going to go for 4th now. I think he's a little bit too young, but Will Smith, it'd be awesome to see him on there. Who finishes 4th? Canadiens, Panthers, Lightning, or the Maple Leafs? "16 years with the Habs." Oh, you also root for them? I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people do where you live. Hot take: Panthers finish 3rd. Feels like they're not the best regular season team, but they turn it up in playoff time. Excuse me. They were 3rd last year too, but I could easily see them finishing 3rd because they're going to be without Barkov and they're going to be without Kachuk for a while too. Habs started your hockey life in 2009. Nice. But we're gonna need some more votes. I'll give you all 15 seconds to vote if you haven't already. Now, normally I wouldn't be, well, in the height of this channel, we would have a lot more people on here. So that's why I'm saying vote, 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 because I want to, get the best representation of our channel as I can. Whereas like last time 2 years ago, I didn't have to do that because for whatever reason, YouTube would actually recommend my channel. Wild throwback jerseys. I do like them. I have one from the Reebok era, a Reebok Edge 1.0. All right, we're going to close this out then in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Finishing fourth in the challenging Atlantic Division, we have the Montreal Canadiens. There we go. All right, now let's get to third. Or the Maple Leafs. Now things are getting real serious. But yeah, the Wild have nice throwback jerseys. I saw that there was a leak today that the Blackhawks will be reissuing their black third, last worn during the Reebok era, and that is a thing of beauty. Imagine the Leafs surviving a first or second round just beating Florida. Probably will never happen in your lifetime, but it would be funny. I mean, I think that obviously Barkov's presence is going to make a big difference. Although, if Sam Bennett's going to play like he did in the playoffs, and Anton Lundell, could he be a second line center on a lot of NHL teams? Yeah, he could. All right, we'll close this out in 10 seconds. So vote if you haven't already. Okay, well, it looks like our third place team will be Red Wings had 7 guys on the ice. That's a bit of a circus. Okay, so third place, we're going to put the back-to-back defending champion Panthers. And now that leaves us with who finishes in second. So will that be the Lightning or the Maple Leafs? Cortana, you're fine. Here, come here, get a treat. You little con artist. All right, here, have some apples too. Keep those votes coming. I don't think I've ever done this on a stream, but hey, sweetheart, could you bring me another beer, please? You're the best. All right, we need somebody to break the tie. You're the best. All right. Well, we have 50. It's 50-50 right now. We need somebody to break the tie. Because I can't pick. It's all about yous guys. Okay, we're gonna close this out in 5, 4, 3. You still have a chance. 2. All right. Finishing second is the Tampa Bay Lightning, and repeating as division champions, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let me just type this in here, and then we're going to get into the playoffs, okay? All right. So this is the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right. Good stuff, Hufflepuff. Now let's get to the playoffs. So we have, let's see here. Well, we need to make our we need to determine the wild cards, right? So let's see here. We're gonna do a poll. Who West first wild card? Who is going to be the first wild card team in the Western Conference? Is it so? We've got the Vancouver Canucks finishing fourth in their division, and the other team we have finishing fourth is the Minnesota Wild. So one of those teams will be a wild card. Which team gets the first wild card? We owe in LA. Go Oilers. Yeah, God, what, 4 years in a row? Oof. Both wild cards will come from the Central. Okay, yeah. So keep your votes coming for the first wild card, and then when we do that, then we'll have the options for the second wild card, which will be the Blues and whoever we didn't vote. So in this case, well, we don't really have that many votes, do we now? So we'll just keep things moving, okay? So let's close it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. All right. So the first wild card is going to be the Minnesota Wild. First wild card. Okay. Now, the Blues are an option for the second wild card, as is the Vancouver Canucks. So it's the Blues or the Canucks who get into the playoffs from the Western Conference. Is it the Blues or the Canucks? So we'll do another poll for that. Vote, vote, vote. Hey, the poll is close. It's a close poll, so keep the votes coming in. All right, we're going to close this in 10 seconds. So last chance to vote, because we're going to get to the Eastern Conference wildcard in 5, 4. Here, should I do it in Spanish? Maybe that will create more of a sense of urgency. I don't know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the second wild card will be the St. Louis Blues. So we're going to put them down for second wild card. Okay, cool. All right, now let's go to the Eastern Conference. So the first wild card will either be the Montreal Canadiens, or it'll be the Canadiens or the Blue Jackets. So first wild card in the East will either be the Blue Jackets or the Canadiens. So let me know who you think is going to be the first wild card. We're gonna need more votes though, guys, because we're 50-50 right now. So somebody's got to break that tie for us. You can do it. I believe in you. I have faith. With how close Columbus was last year, I don't think they're missing again. I hope not. All right, we're going to close this poll in 10 seconds. So final chance to vote. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and all right. So first wild card will be Montreal. That's different than last year. They were the second wild card last year. So they're going to be, come on, they're going to be the first wild card. Okay, we're going to expand this a little bit. There we go. All right. So this means that your second wild card will either be the Ottawa Senators or the Columbus Blue Jackets. So we're going to do a poll for that. So the Blue Jackets or the Senators. Got to get all the votes we can. Yeah, I hope the Blue Jackets find a way to make the playoffs. But I kind of want the Red Wings to make it as well. Like I'd like that to be probably the 2 wild cards. All right, we're going to close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that's different than last year, right? We've got the Columbus Blue Jackets making the playoffs. Oh boy. So they're our second wild card. All right. Let me fill that in. Okay, perfect. Run them up, fill them in. Sorry, Dylan Strom, for the distortion there. Okay, so now I'm gonna need all hands on deck for this. Okay. So we've got our playoff team. So we got. Do we have the same teams as last year in the West? I think we do, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. Then in this division or in this conference in the East, we have everybody except Columbus will replace Ottawa. Okay. So let me grab some teams here. We've got, just hang tight with me, okay? We got the Knights. We've got the Oilers. We've got the Kings. Okay. We're not going to do the whole playoffs. I appreciate you understanding. We've got the Dallas Stars jumping in here as the division winner from the Central. Wait, hold up now. There we go. So we got Dallas. There we are. We got Winnipeg. We've got Colorado. We've got Minnesota somewhere. I'm just making sure we have this all queued up for everybody. Makes things a little bit easier. Got Minnesota, and we're St. Louis with the old school blue note. I am definitely a fan. That's why I wore this jersey. Okay, so we got the West. And for the East, so we'll do the Metropolitan. We're going to do the Hurricanes. We're going to do the Devils. All right, we got the Capitals. I refuse to use their actual logo because this is really a much better actual logo. Then we've got the Blue Jackets coming in. A lot of red from that division. And in the Atlantic, we have the, the Leafs winning the division. Okay, we got the Leafs here. We've got Tampa Bay in second. We've got in third the back-to-back defending champions. And we have the Montreal Canadiens in fourth. All right, beautiful. Let's remove all these other logos, okay? There we go, my friends. Okay, so here we have our Stanley Cup playoffs. So the way that this works now, I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, let me know in the chat which two teams make the Eastern Conference Final. All right, so give me your two teams to make the Eastern Conference Final. So the way this works, though, make sure it's not like two teams from the same division here, because like Carolina and New Jersey, they can't play each other for the conference final. New Jersey could play Florida, right? So I think we have a pretty smart audience when it comes to this. So I think you'll be able to pick your two teams. So yeah, who do you think is going to make it to the conference final from the East? We'll start with that. And we got a kitty here. One of my cats here. Florida versus Washington. Carolina, Toronto. Perfect, Dean. I like that. Okay. Leafs and Hurricanes. Hurricanes and Lightning. Yeah, do we have any more predictions for the Eastern Conference Final? Don't be shy, my friends. All right. I do see a commonality here. We've got some people saying it's going to be the Hurricanes from the Eastern, or from that side of the bracket. So I will pick the Carolina Hurricanes. Okay. I also like the Hurricanes, so of course I'm going to pick them. Imagine the marketing for a Canes Lightning Eastern Conference Final. Yeah, it's true. I've been. It's something like, yeah, it's kind of surprising we haven't gotten one of those yet. Okay, so we're gonna pick the Hurricanes to make it out of the eastern side, or the metropolitan side of the bracket. Okay, so which team from the Atlantic goes to the Cup, or excuse me? Okay, so we're gonna do. You have three options. I know we have wild cards, but nobody else mentioned the wild cards. So we're gonna do we'll do the Panthers, we'll do the Maple Leafs, and the Lightning. Okay. Okay. So vote in our poll here. Which of these teams from the Atlantic side of the bracket are going to advance to the conference final? But yeah, the marketing for Canes and Lightning, the promos for that, right? That could be pretty legit there. I can imagine the Hurricanes fans booing every time Jake Gensel touches the puck. But yeah, get all those votes in, everybody. That would be fantastic. All right, nothing, huh? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Keep those votes coming in. It's a love-hate relationship with Gensel. Yeah, I mean, he was really good with the Hurricanes, but hey, at least they've got Ehlers. Although I would like to still see them upgrade at like second line center, of course, and also, although wait, hasn't Jarvis been playing center recently, like in the preseason? And also, look, I've always liked Freddie Anderson, but I do think that they need somebody else starting for the playoffs, or starting in key situations. All right, we're going to close this poll in 10 seconds. So last chance to vote. All right, we're going to determine who goes to the conference final in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So going to the conference final for the first time since what year would that be? It wouldn't even be 2004. No. When was the last time the Leafs were in the semifinal, basically? Does anybody know? Oops, wait, excuse me. We're going to grab the Maple Leafs logo. That's a big prediction. I like it. I had the Leafs in my conference final, I think, last year. Okay. Give me two teams. Which two teams make the Western Conference final? So give me your opinions on that. Who do you think makes the conference final from the Western side of things? You've got the Golden Knights, Oilers, and Kings. They're all in the same bracket. The Stars, Jets, and Avalanche are in the same bracket. And then we have wild cards with the Wild and also the Blues. Last time, thank you, Paul. Last time the Maple Leafs were in the conference final was all the way back in 2002. That's quite some time ago. Terry jumping in with Oilers and Blues. All right, there we go. I like that. A little moxie in that prediction. I think we have Primo as the third goal. Oh, Caden Primo. Oilers Jets is Jackie. Oilers Avs or Golden Knights Avs. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna make a keep the predictions coming. I still dream that one year it'll be the Red Wings and the Avalanche again. I'm not saying it's gonna happen this year, but I do think the Red Wings are gonna. I could see them in a playoff spot. I liked how they got John Gibson. I mean, he was actually healthy for a change, and he played really well for the Ducks last year. And I'm also kind of like a closet Avalanche fan for this upcoming season because, like, I really wanted him to get it done with the Hurricanes, but Brent Burns is still very dear to my heart. And so with him in an Avalanche jersey, I'll probably end up cheering for the Avalanche from the Western side of things. Okay, so we got Knights, Avalanche, Oilers and Blues, Oilers, Jets. I mean, like, these are good picks. Let's go with this, okay? So let's choose. Okay, which team makes the conference final? We're going to choose the Pacific side of things. So we're going to choose between the Knights and the Avalanche. Let's do it. Oh, wait, sorry, not the Avalanche. I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's my bad, everybody. Okay. Which team makes the conference final? Is it the Golden Knights or is it the Oilers? I meant to say the Oilers. Okay, so this would be a rematch possibly from the second round last year, and I know they also met in 2023. Here you go, girl. Whoop. Good catch. So yeah, between the Golden Knights and the Oilers, which team do you think will make the conference final? Go ahead and put in a vote. I will give you 15 seconds to cast your vote if you've yet to do so. Knights got Oh, Nick, hey, thank you for jumping in here. Edmonton didn't do anything. I liked how they got Connor Ingram, but they did lose some veterans on their team. Not guys who are going to be table setters per se, but who knows? Maybe Connor McDavid with the looming contract situation, he goes McJesus mode and gets them back to the final. All right. Thank you for the votes, guys. Let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So going to the conference final from the Pacific side of things, we've got the Vegas Golden Knights with Mitch Marner. I think one of my hot takes for the upcoming year was that Marner's going to score a goal in a Game 7 at some point in the playoffs. So we'll put the Knights in here. And we're going to figure out who is going to represent the Central, okay? Let's go with which team represents the Central, in the conference final. So we're going to have the Stars, the Jets, the Avalanche, and we'll put the Blues. The Blues are wild card 1. My money is on Dallas to finish with the best record in the West. The Blues are the second wild card, so that would make sense. All right. Ingram at third is sad, but understandable. Well, yeah, I'm sure that he can work his way back over the course of this year. But of course, I want all the best to him, off the ice first. Yes, bring me your votes. Hey, babe. Mrs. Twister's cooking dinner right now. She's making like pasta. It smells really freaking good. He did win that trophy with the Coyotes last year. Where are the Sharks on this? Russell! Thanks for joining, and thank you for joining our memberships. I absolutely would love to have you in a member stream because we do those on camera with each other. We all chat together. And so you will be an amazing addition to that. Yeah, pasta. Exactly. All right, let's close this in 10 seconds. So vote if you haven't already. Mrs. Twister, when did that? Well, Mrs. Twister, I've colloquially been calling her Mrs. Twister. We moved in together, what was that, May? But actually, just a few weeks ago, we got engaged. So we're getting hitched. Not for a while, but yeah, we are going to tie the knot here. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Good, sir. And representing the Central side of things, we got the Colorado Avalanche actually doing some damage for the first time in a few years. Oh, my God. Look how juicy this looks. This looks profoundly juicy. We've got the Avalanche and Knights, the conference final we never got. And we've got the Maple Leafs and the Hurricanes in the, what would we call that? The David Ayers Cup. That would be incredible. And thank you. Thank you, everybody. Cortana is the flower dog. Yeah, I know, right? It's like my Twister sister is saying like, hey, your nephew needs to be in the wedding. I'm like, hey, I take care of my dog first. All right. But thank you, everybody. I do appreciate that. Okay, TOK, let's go Canes. I like seeing that. Although the Avalanche and the Hurricanes, like Brent Burns lover and also Hurricanes supporter. It's like I can't have them meet each other in the Stanley Cup final. That would rip me apart. Okay, let's go with hey, thank you, Russ, with the 10. Congratulations on the engagement. That's amazing to hear. I appreciate that. And for your amazing super chat, I'm gonna give Wait, here we go. Here, Cortana. Treat. Cortana, come get a treat. But yeah, once Cortana, there she is. Okay, here you go. Here you go. This is from Uncle Russell. There you go. Oh, what a good girl. Can I have a kiss? Kiss. Thank you. Good girl. All right, let's give you another treat, okay? There you go. Oh, what a good girl. All right. And thank you, Prescott. I appreciate that, man. All right, let's go to our Eastern Conference final. So who wins the East? Is it going to be the Hurricanes or is it going to be the Maple Leafs? So everybody, let's do this. Thank you, TLK. I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm sure that your dog was just as much of a part of the family as everybody else. My dog has been my world for a long time, and there have been times when she's had injuries and I've had to rehab her and all that, and it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna make that effort. Your dog, just the way they look at you, right? There's something just unique about that. So anyway, I wish the best for you as you get through that. And yeah, dogs are amazing. They really are. Kane's abs with a special Drury nature. Oh yeah, that's right. Not to mention Natchez and Drury too. But yes, all the votes welcome for this Eastern Conference final. Now, somebody had said earlier that the last time the Maple Leafs were in the conference final was back in 2002. Who did they lose to that year? They lost to the Hurricanes. I almost forget that the Hurricanes made that final all the way back then before they actually won the Cup in 2006. All right. Unless there aren't any more votes, everybody, I'm going to close this out in 10 seconds. So one last chance, one last dream before your future will be carved in stone. Hammerfall. All right. We'll close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So making the Stanley Cup final, the Carolina Hurricanes, not the Colorado Avalanche, the Carolina Hurricanes are marching on to the Stanley Cup final, the first time in the Rod, the Bod, Brind'Amour era. The things you love to see. All right. Now we got to figure out who's going to make the West final, or the final from the West. Who wins the West? Is it the Avalanche or is it the Golden Knights? Let's make a prophecy together, everybody. As much as you love the Canes, you're not really a fan of the road jerseys. I think that's fair. I kind of was hoping that they would. Well, I don't really know what the Hurricanes should do with their jerseys these days, but at the same time, it's not the worst. At first, when I saw it, I was kind of like, "Oh, sweet Jesus, this is terrible." But actually, it's not as bad. When I gave it a second look, but I was hoping that they would go a different direction. Who is going to win the West? The Golden Knights or the Avalanche? Bring me your votes. Let's do it. Hurricanes jerseys suck. I like the red one with the actual Canes logo. Yeah, like when they reissued the 25th anniversary for the 25th anniversary, I thought that one actually looked really good in Adidas. I always liked the word mark, but I wanted it red since they were black at home now. Actually, the reverse retro 2.0 that said Canes on it, I understand why people didn't like it. I strangely like that jersey a fair bit. All right. We're going to give you 10 more seconds to vote if you have yet to do so already. Please, I want to know who you think is marching on to the Stanley Cup final. And by the way, I'm so sorry. I have not been sharing my screen the last few minutes. All right. We're going to close this out in 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. And advancing to the Stanley Cup final for the third time in their will be 9 years as a franchise, the Vegas Golden Knights. Mitch Marner brings them back to the biggest stage. Oops, wait. Let me So now everybody, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Mitch Marner, Nikolai Ehlers. who will guide their team to the second Stanley Cup in their franchise's history, because both teams have a Stanley Cup. So your 2026 Stanley Cup champions. Do you have the Vegas Golden Knights? Or will you dare select the Carolina Hurricanes? I'm actually going to put their full team names because we have to show them some respect here. Who is your Stanley Cup champion between these two teams? Now I need everybody. I need everybody. This is going to be displayed for the whole channel. Kind of. We're going to have this available for everybody to look at in our community posts. Yes, we got 10 votes already. Keep them coming. Yes. And I know we've been waiting for a Stanley Cup final like this for quite some time. The poll is stagnant. Half our community made up their mind. I'm sorry, by the way, 2 nights ago, I went to like a total nerdy metal show with like power metal bands and pirate metal bands. It was pretty awesome. So I've kind of got this nerdy lexicon that I'm rolling with here, vernacular, if you will. We're going to close this out in 20 seconds. 20 seconds, I say. We will crown our Stanley Cup champion. So you may vote for the next 15 seconds. All right, we will crown our Stanley Cup champion in 5, 4. I love power and pirate metal. There we go. Yeah, so it was Ailstorm. It was Chris Bowe's other band, Gloryhammer, and he killed it. His vocals are different between the two bands. They really are, and he sounded great with both. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this might be the first time in this channel's existence. No, not you. Your 2026 Stanley Cup champion, Rod the Bod Brindamore, and the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry, I'm hyped up. I love it, guys. The Hurricanes are your 2026 Stanley Cup champion. Brilliant. I like it. I mean, the regular season predictions, they were pretty similar to last year, but you mix things up in the playoffs. We got the Avalanche. There's always a lot of love for the Avalanche in this community. And yes, we have the Hurricanes finally getting over the hump. We got the Maple Leafs making a deep run. We got the Knights making their 3rd Stanley Cup in their franchise's existence. That's pretty damn impressive as well. So yeah, this could be a really fun postseason. Actually, last year was pretty damn fun for like the first round. And then it got really, well, we had a lot of parity. All right. Wonderful. Falconer. Oh, I've never actually listened to them. The Canes are the only good pro team in North Carolina. Yeah, unfortunately. Maybe in NHL 26, we would go crazy. We really need to bring an MLB team to North Carolina. I'd like to see that too. Wonderful. Well, thank you guys very, very much. I do appreciate you casting your votes and getting through this with me. Look at that. 1 hour and 40 minutes. That's great. I was thinking we'd be at about 1 hour and a half. So don't forget, everybody. Don't forget before you sign off to leave a like, first of all. But we will be live on this channel. Let's see here. We'll be live on this channel on Tuesday next week. So hold up 1 second. I'm going to show you something. We've got 2 upcoming live streams and a members stream on Sunday, by the way. But yes, we will be live on, oh, look at those revenue numbers. We'll be live on Tuesday for the Kings and the Avalanche on opening night. And then On Saturday next weekend, we'll be live for a clash between my San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks. Look at that. I even got a little shark fin in there with the Cortana logo in teal and black and white. So anyway, Swedish folk metal with wait. That's Falconer? Interesting. I don't think I've ever listened to Swedish folk metal. Usually it's Finnish. You might get some Dutch or some German in there as well. Anyway, thank you so much. So yeah, hope to see you around for the live streams. Of course, I always encourage people to check out our members content as well. It starts for as little as $3 a month. And we have some awesome members who've been with us now for almost 3 years, some of them. And we'll hopefully have some video content as well, but I don't want to make any promises. But streams, at least we have those to look forward to. Lorna Shore, that's where it kind of doesn't. Oh, Trevor, I just saw you change your name. I've heard their stuff before. So for me, that's kind of where it stops becoming like music and it sounds more like a soundtrack for a film, or not even a soundtrack, but it doesn't seem so musical. I'm not saying that they're not talented, because they are. It's just that I like music where I can still kind of keep pace with the beat and where you just let the notes breathe a little bit. But I have heard them before, and like I said, they do have talent. It's just not my style as much. Is it true NHL Network is going to be showing Gavin McKenna games? It could be. I think didn't they do something like that with Bedard or Celebrini? I can't remember. But I'm not as concerned about Gavin McKenna, because Keaton Verhoff, you will be a San Jose Shark forevermore. It's kind of different. Okay. I'll have to give that a shot. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate that. Let's get Cortana back here one more time, if you don't mind. Cortana, come here. Get some more treats, girl. Get some treats on behalf of the community. Here we go. Come here. Oh wait. I gotta tilt this down. Whoop. There you go, boo boo. Oh yeah. You want more apples? Yeah. Leave that like if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. Not for me. Do it for Cortana. She's freaking cute. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Have some more. Oh my goodness, what a good girl. All right. Well, we'll see you Twisters again soon. So look out for the live streams. Have a great rest of your week. And don't forget, next week, we've got NHL hockey.